Hello, welcome to Sissy's Cards and Crafts. I am Sissy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Eastern Ontario, Canada. Welcome this evening. Oh, and I still have the squeaky chair. I'm sorry. Okay, so just a quick reminder again, this is the Stampin' Up! Catalog. It is going to be done. It's hard to believe it. I still think of it as just coming out, but lots of good stuff in here. This is a suite I have been thinking I would get, but I haven't got this one as well. This one actually has velvet paper. So there's some pretty sweet stuff. Hopefully it will continue on. Some of it will carry over or at least move to the online exclusives stuff. All of our adhesives and everything are all in this catalog. It's kind of their decision is to have May, June, July, August. Yeah, 3 catalogs a year come out. The next one will have all the Christmas stuff in. So anybody that purchases $50 or more with me can either have this catalog sent to them, or I can put you on the list and have you get the new one when it comes out. So just keep that in mind. A purchase of $50 or more will get that catalog for you. Again, either this one or the new one. I'll contact you via email to get that information. All right. Speaking of the online exclusives, I've gone back to the March ones to pull out the suite that we are going to be using this week. And I meant to print off a copy of it, but I've got it right here in front of you, so you can see it here. Last night we made this card. This is the embossing folder, the little bugs. Yeah, you can see the flowers and ladybugs in there. And then, of course, all these die cuts came from the stamp set. So we use the strawberry slush, yes, strawberry slush ink or paper to do that with the black matting. And then inside, love you very much. And these sentiments are from the set as well. All right, so that was last night's card. This is tonight's card. So a similar card. We're mixing it up just a little bit. We're adding one more strawberry. We still have this sweet little flowers, so I thought they were so cute. But the thought behind this was I wanted to use our, just have it, and then I put it away. Oh, put it right beside me where I could easily grab it. Of course I did. The Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So again, keep in mind, so you can read that. Keep in mind that the 3D are thicker, and so you get a deeper groove. But my thought with using that one was kind of the, like the straw box that you get the berries in, kind of that sort of idea. And then we're using some of the DSP tonight, whereas last night we didn't use the DSP. So we're going to pull that in. And then I've just created this as a thank you card, put a band in there of the DSP, an extra little flower. Had to kind of smudge it over onto the DSP because it's white and I left the background white. This thank you came from the product of the month there a couple months ago where we had all the sentiments. So this one, however, is in the suite. All right, so just to go over the suite, we have the stamps, so filled with sweetness, the photopolymer stamps. We have You're the Sweetest, Love You Very Much, Homemade for You, and Thank You as our sentiments. And then, of course, the little berries, strawberries, blueberries, lovely little scroll sort of look. And then the jar, so the 2 stamps for the jar, the lid and the jar. Okay. All great. And then the dies, we have all of these lovely dies. So we have a big one for the jar that actually cuts it out. I'm not going to open them up right now. This one is just like a single die that's like a line that cuts into the top of the jar. We have a nice little cover for the top of the jar, a string and bow, the handle of a spoon to kind of stick through that cut in the top of the jar so it looks like you're scooping out some jam. Blueberries, strawberries, they cut out the stamps. Our flowers, which we'll use tonight. This is a die for the top of the jar, this long one here. However, we're going to use that actually as the sentiment piece here across here. So that's what that die cuts out. And then the other sentiment dies there, which I thought are quite adorable. So I'm just going to keep that out of the case right for the moment. The other parts of the, before we look at the DSP, the other parts of the suite are these cute little, I just stuck some mini glue dots in there. Stick them back in there. I didn't know what else to do with them. They came in a stamp paper pumpkin kit. But we have some strawberry slush and Night of Navy, and then these cute little strawberries. They're so cute. I haven't used them. So you can see one missing. I forget where I put that one, but I haven't quite found the perfect card for them yet. And I heard a demonstrator say the other day on a video that, you know, you kind of hoard the ones you like, and that's kind of ones I like. And then we have this cute ribbon, the checkered ribbon, and there is 2 on this roll. So here's 1 roll and 2 rolls. So it's considerable amount. Does it say here? 6.4 meters, so it's quite a bit of ribbon on that. Quite cute. And then our DSP, the designer series paper. We have these cute little jars that we can cut out, and this lovely little honey bear. Isn't he cute? And all the little jam jars. And then the back side is the strawberry slush. So that's actually, when I showed the card last night, this is actually what I had used. I forgot that I'd used that. And then that's why I could get this little white kind of on the bugs there. I've kind of just pulled off the top layer to show the white core in the middle, but that's the one I use. So if you have the DSP and that's what you want to do, go for it. So this is adorable. I love this paper too. And it has like a denim look to it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, the little white flowers. So if you go to my website, sissyscardsandcrafts.com, you'll see on the blog the instructions for these cards. The card that I use this in, I refer to this as the denim flower paper. So that's what I mean. So then this lovely strawberry slush check at the back. The B-sides are always kind of the universal. You can use it for many different, it doesn't have to just be with this set. It can coordinate with many different things. So these are the B-sides, obviously. The A-side are those lovely spoons that are just so cute. I really like them as well. And then we have mini jams. Cute little jam jars. You can see the ones with honey in them and the little bees. And then the back side, the B side, is this lined paper. Great if you're doing scrapbooking, I guess, but also you could use like kind of cut out for a recipe card or something, especially if you have something to do with jam, right? This nice gingham pattern. This is what we will be using tonight. And then there's the little ladybugs and flowers that correspond or look like our embossing folder. Then we have our last one, these berries here. So you could cut these out. They don't correspond with the dies. The dies are considerably bigger, but they do look very similar, right? So these are the fruits, and then the back side is a nice Night of Navy blue there. And that are the different ones. I could have showed you the whole pieces, I guess, but I showed you the cut up pieces. Okay, so let's start on tonight's card before I get called away, because you know I've given them till dark. And now it's dusk, so I'm running out of time very quickly. Okay. So I've cut most of the pieces. This is just scrap white. I've got our card base, which again is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And we've scored that in the middle. And we're going to create the portrait card. All right. Let's do that with our lovely foam folder. Okay. So last night we used black. Tonight we're going to use Night of Navy as our mat. And we're just going to pop it down. And I've just made this. Again, all of the instructions are on my blog, my website, which I usually put in the info section of my videos. So you can find that there. But all the measurements will be in there. And we'll link back to this video as well. So if you're getting through them and you're like, oh, I can't remember, I'll just link you back to this. Okay. But really, this is an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base, the mat. And then I've gone an 1/8 of an inch smaller. And with the pecan pie, embossed this sheet. Ooh, I didn't want to put that down yet. Ooh, can I pull it up? Can I pull it up? Let's see. I forgot a step. I'm pulling away some of the paper, which I don't want to do. But you can always fix it. I'm actually just going to pull out the top and leave that there like that. And then that should work. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to put this ribbon around. I want to put that around both. So we'll stick this on and then we'll do the ribbon or the linen thread. So if you make a mistake, you know what? There's ways around it. Worst comes to worst, I could have just taken another piece of Night of Navy and put it across the top and had double layer, but I didn't want to do that. If I could get, but you can see how quick that glue dries. It is a really, really good glue. As I've shared before, I've learned a lot about paper and glue for adhesives in the last few years of me crafting as I have, and man, there's a lot to be said. Okay, so I'm just quickly gonna measure this. I want this to go around 3 times. So there we go. That looks about right. And I'm gonna snip that, and then I'm just gonna snip. I've put a little cut there, and I'm just gonna stick my end in there so I don't lose it. And then the reason I wanted 3 loops is just to make it a little bit more substantial, because that just doing 2 didn't seem to be enough. And I want my bow just over to the side. Now you can see how that bow is going to be up. What I did is I actually just scooched this piece of thread under those 3. And then with the linen thread, it works best if you just tie a knot first before you tie the bow, because then you're going to get a tighter bow. And I usually, with the linen thread, it's not so important like it is with the ribbon. But if you do the bunny ear bow and you go do it upside down, tends to have things fall the right way. I guess I pulled the wrong one there. All right. So there we go. Just like that. I'll trim these ends up and then we can stick that down. I bet you it's going to stick there without me even gluing it. Okay, look at that. That glue really is quite amazing. Stick a little bit in that corner, but it really is worth worth the, now, you know, school glue from the dollar store will work, but this just, you need so little. And then it's also repositionable. So if you use it, so let me think of an example. I create my die cut, I put glue on it. If I let that glue dry till it's clear, it's still tacky and will still adhere and will adhere quite well, but it is repositionable, so I can pull it up and move it. So sometimes people will do that for if they want to put like a gift card or something on there. So it says here, permanent or removable bond. For removable bond, moderately apply glue, allowing to completely dry, position paper, and remove and reposition as needed. So pretty handy. I haven't found any other glue that's like that. All right, so there's our card base. That was quite painless, other than having to rip it up a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to actually use this piece from last night, and we'll continue to use that one up. What I want to do first is, I guess I'm going to stamp our strawberries first, then we will die cut before I stamp the sentiment. Okay, so again, because we're going to use our blends to color these, which is the alcohol markers, we're going to use the water base dye, memento dye. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think I might need that other piece. I think I just over stamped, which is fine, meaning I used too much of my space there. So my Stampin' Scrub. Again, as a reminder, these are no longer available. The mist is, the Stampin' Mist is, but the Stampin' Scrub is been discontinued. I, however, really enjoy it, so, you know, it's just what I do. Okay, I kept out all of the blends that we used last night. Hopefully we don't need the color lifter, but we were going to use these ones. All right, so we have the Old Olive. We're going to put as our strawberry leaves here. I'm just going to put that in here. I'll just go over that line a couple times just to give that some added depth. And these guys here. I'm trying to think. Tomorrow night's card, we are not going to color these strawberries, I don't believe. So you only had to watch me do it twice. But they are kind of sweet and a very easy way to add some fun embellishments to your. And if you didn't have the dies, these are quite easy to cut out. They're not really intricate. Okay. And if you didn't get the strawberry slush blends, I'm just going to go in with the dark here on this side just to create that shadow. Then you could use a red. The real red or the cherry cobbler red. I'm doing this dark and light, like I'm doing, kind of adds that illusion of 3 dimensions. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way, where it's a bit rounded, is to make that strawberry look a little more rounded. And I'm not artistic, guys. I can color with the best of them, but you ask me to draw the strawberry, not happening. I enjoy can be artistic when I have something to inspire me, and all of the Stampin' Up stuff really inspires me when it all coordinates, and they give you so many good quality tools as well. That really helps. I don't know how many times I've gone to do different things and you just get a piece of, or get your supplies and you're just like, oh, this is not going to work because it's just not the quality that I need. And when I first started stamping, I tried the cheap route. And some of them were just very disappointing. And then by the time you end up getting everything, it wasn't really any cheaper. I have a lot of ink and stamps here that just let me down. And I've yet to be let down by anything I've purchased through Stampin' Up. I've always been very, very surprised. And even these photopolymer stamps lately are just incredible with the detail that they give. And then I can't think of the name right now. The ones that are, I want to say high definition, but that's not it. But they have a lot of intricate parts to them. They're just pretty incredible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be smart here this time. And as I cut out the strawberries, I'm going to cut out the flowers as well, because we're going to need a few flowers. So let's do double duty. I have my one little piece of tape from last night, and we'll tape this on. And what I'm doing when I tape a die on is I'm looking to see all of the edges, all the black edges there, to make sure that they're visible, and that way I know I'm kind of centering it. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to put this on. You can see here. I'm just going to move the camera. I realize you're kind of in the wrong spot. There we go. That's much better. I apologize for that. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to run these through. You probably didn't see any of that coloring. I greatly apologize. You didn't see it, go back and watch last night. And here again, I'm going to pull out my sticky note. Hopefully it's still sticky from me using it the last little bit. And I'm going to get my dots here. And that dot stayed right in there. Where's that dot from? We've got a stray dot. It's not from that one. Oh, you know what it's from? It's from the sentiment piece that I used last night. Take your pick tool. Where is it? There we go. So poke that center right in there. It's really the centers that I'm looking for. And I'm going to keep, and I'm going to pull that out. Pop that right in there. Come on. The putty is stickier than my paper here. Okay, so I've got my circles. Let's get another strawberry and flowers here. Put my flowers on. Where did I put the tape? Right under my hand. Oh my goodness. So as you can try to see here, I'm just centering that die so I can see all of the black stamp line there. And there we go. And like I did last night, I'm going to do 4 flowers right there. Oh, I'm getting tired. And when I only need 3, but I did put 1 on the inside of this card, so maybe we'll do that again. Okay. There we go. While I'm at it, let's just do that here. Before I put the tape down, I wonder what I did with it. Okay, and then these little guys, I'm actually just going to leave them because I don't want to fiddle with it. Probably getting messages from my daughter. Okay. There we go. I apologize. I tried to quiet that, but I guess I didn't quiet it. All right. There we go. Strawberries have been completed. Now we needed this die. And like I said, I think that piece of paper is a little too small. So I'm going to just cut this one out. There we go. And this is, like I said, the top. It's supposed to be the top of the jar, but we're going to use that to put our sentiment on. Right. Your plates they are consumable, meaning they're going to wear out. You're going to need to buy new ones. The cutting plates. The base plates, that's good. You won't have to replace that. These you do. So you'll notice I keep putting this one on top. I don't really want to cut with that one yet. I'm cutting with this one. And then you also can notice this one's starting to bow. So what I want to do is rotate it. So the next time I'll put it through this way. So I start cutting this way, or I guess this way is what I want to do. So no, this. I want it to press down so it kind of flattens it. If you rotate it, it'll keep it flatter longer. And then when I buy new plates, this one is the one that's going to need to be replaced. So it goes. This one becomes my cutting plate, and I just pull one new plate out of the package. So it makes everything last a little bit longer. I guess you could argue in the long run it really doesn't, but I think it does because I've had this for a couple of years and I've only bought new plates for it once, and I still have an extra one, so I think it makes it last longer. All right, so You Are the Sweetest is the one we are going to put on this. And we are going to use Night of Navy. And I wanted to cut it out first because I want to be able to center that on there, and I just felt that was going to work a little bit better. Now I did use Night of Navy, correct? Or was it Secret Sea? Night of Navy. Oh, this is Misty Moonlight. Could use that one. That one would work. Where is my Night of Navy? Right there. So you can see it's just a little bit darker than the Misty Moonlight. That's the one I want. And stamp it on there. Tap, tap, tap. I'm using my grid on my Glass Mat Studio to make sure that's level. And then I'm just going to stamp it on there. Now I also took my blending tool, now there's the finger daubers that Stampin' Up offers, but I just used this that had some blue still on it, and I just went over the edge. So like this, I can't remember when we inked this one up to use it, so there's still enough ink on it to do this, and I'm just scraping it along the edge, and I'm not really giving it a whole lot of color, but you'll just find it kind of just defines it a little bit more. If you don't like white edges, that is an easy way to just kind of soften your edges a little bit. All right, one last thing we need to die cut, and that is our this piece here. And we're going to use the ESP for that. So really, I'm going to eyeball it here. Cut it out. And then we're going to cut this. And this, you can see here, there's lines on that. That's going to give it some nice definition as well. All right. So our base plate, cutting plate, I'm going to put this side up, and then I'm going to put that down. So it's curved this way. So as I push down on it, we'll straighten it. Makes sense when you know what you're doing, but then when you're trying to say it and do it at the same time, it doesn't really work. Okay. And that snap, snap is me just folding that up, because they do fold up, which makes it quite nice. And there's also the little pinholes, like the stitching around that. I don't know if you can see it or not, around the edges. So it really adds more to the card as well. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. So this is just going to go in the center on dimensionals. Get these dimensionals out. These little bugs are so cute as well, but we're not using them. Okay, then we're going to do this piece. Before I take those backs off, I'm going to put this across the top. You know what? I'm just going to use this piece right here. Bingity bangity boom. Put that on the back. Just want to make sure I'm not going over the edge there. Pulled up a little piece of the paper, but you're not going to see that. Okay. So then this is going to go on here like that. Just like that. And then that's going to stick on there like that. Oh, I have just a little bit sticking out over the edge, and that's what I was worried about. I just kind of want to pull that off, because I don't want that to accidentally stick to the card. Oops. Okay. Don't follow these lines on the embossed piece, because they're not necessarily straight. So just make sure you're kind of getting things straight as you can. Push it down, then that nice little bow goes down. Now these berries, I actually glued 2 of them down, and then I put the dimensions on the other one. I'm feeling some sticky from that tape again. I think it's the humidity, because I haven't had that problem with that at all. That what do you call it? Post-it note tape. I want those just to stick over the edge a little bit, just for a little extra something. And then I want to kind of tuck that up underneath, not fully, but enough that it just something a little unexpected. I don't think it takes away from anything, because I'm using this strawberry to cover, and this is our centerpiece really of the strawberries, this guy, and he's going to actually come up over. So just that unexpected layering is what we'll call it, I think adds as well. All right, and like we did last night, I'm going to keep putting down my take your pick tool, and I can't find it again. I know I'm not the only one that has these issues, so that helps, but still is a little annoying. All right, so we're just going to take our darling duckling, and we're just going to color these in. So just like we did last night, we're using these for our centers. Well, I guess I left that center in there, and I colored last night's center. Oh well. Okay, pop that out. Pop that out and put these dies away, because I was tidying up today. Yes, I actually tidied it up. And I realized there was some from another set, though the sweet bugs I found that was out. I was like, oh, I didn't want to have them out. I have to put it back before I lose it. Okay, so these mini dimensionals are going to go on the back here. And it is officially dark, and I hear Josh in my bedroom grumbling because I'm not ready. So I have to hurry. Okay, there we go. Any of you guys remember Dallas watching the shows? Who Shot JR? All that. My son, he's such an old soul. He loves the old shows. And he's really, we watched it years ago when he was in high school. So it still was old then, but he just loves it. Okay, problem with this one is if I put it on the inside, I can't put a dimensional on it. So let's just put that aside for a second. And then we're just going to stick these around. Boop, boopity boop. Boopity boopity boop. Put them around like this. Putting them on a little bit differently, but you know what? What I can do. Okay. Also, I put some of these on as well. And another thing this is good for is pulling these off. So I can put my gems on here like that. And then in the instructions, I'm going to continue to say that I actually used my Wink of Stella, and I came in So this is Wink of Stella. It has just a very fine glitter to it. It's quite pretty. And I just put that on there. I don't know if you can see that. It might take a couple. You can kind of see the glitter. Might take a couple coats of it, but it works. All right, so what else I did, and I don't believe I put this in the instructions, is I took some of this. I think I had 1/2 inch of it. So let me just cut 1/2 inch off. And then I put it on the inside just like that. And what you want to do is just kind of see where it is and kind of eyeball how far it's going to be. Or I could just kind of hold my hand there. So either eyeball here and just throw some glue on here, or kind of mark with my hand where the end is and put a little bit of glue on that. And then stick this right in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have it extend. Make sure you can close your card first before it dry glues. I'm going to have it extend over both ends. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors. Long blade scissors work best. And just follow my card and cut that off. Okay. And now you can see I kind of snuck these little glue dots out. The reason for that is I'm going to take a glue dot. And again, this just came out of a paper pumpkin kit. I'm going to pull that off and stick that on the back of this, just like we did with the dimensional, but this time it's flat. It's not going to give me any height that I can't afford in the inside of this card. Right, and then I'm just going to stick that up there, I think, this time. Okay, some garbage. And then if I can just move that. This way. So this one, Fabulous Sayings. It was the May, I think. And Thank You is the one I used. Just going to pop that on here. Now, I am going right on this card. So hopefully I do it okay. If not, I'm just going to have to put a piece of cardstock on top of it. But just be slow and cautious as you go. Make sure it's where I want it. And remember, you need to let it sit for a second to have the paper absorb that ink. That tends to be what people do wrong, is they stamp quick and then it doesn't fully adhere to the paper. And then you're like, oh shoot, I need to start again. So that is tonight's card. Clean that off, dry it off, and away we go. If you don't have this set, any set, I'm sure Thank You is in one of the sets you have, or put whatever sentiments you want on it. This would fit quite a few, not very long, but there we go. So card 1, card 2 of our set. Join me for tomorrow and we will do card 3. It's a little bit different and we will keep on trucking. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day, evening, whatever it is in your area.